Exposing America's most notorious cult, Tommy G. Let's get into it, see what it's hitting for.
How would you define Scientology?
Or a family-destroying human trafficking cult. When you die, it's just your body that died. You as a Thetan just jump into another body.
So I was born in Scientology. From the very first breath that I took, I was in the billion-year contract.
Pledging themselves lifetime after lifetime for 1 billion years.
Pat Harney, you gotta relax. This is public, right? You open it up. All are welcome.
I'm surprised they let black people join. Hold on. I'm turning this up a little bit. My fault, chat.
Whoa. Wait, where is the private property line?
You need to leave right now.
Don't
it's
touch
private
me.
property.
Don't touch
It's
me.
private property. You need to leave right now.
How's this Sea Org treating you? We can help you get out if you want to.
Yeah, get out.
Don't
You're
push
trespassing.
Where's the line?
Okay.
Where's the line?
Pepper spray. Now you get out, or I'm gonna use it.
Wow.
Before I begin exposing one of America's most notorious cults and reveal to you
He
what they do
threatened pepper
behind
spray
closed
just for
doors,
no
first
reason.
let's get you up to speed on what this
He
really
didn't even call the cops. He said, I'm not even gonna call the cops. I'm gonna just pepper spray you. He said, you think I'm playing? There ain't no law enforcement coming. You finna get pepper sprayed.
is. Scientology is a religion that was started by L. Ron Hubbard, a man who also happens to have the Guinness World Record for being one of the most published science fiction writers of all time. It's a bit of a complicated religion, so bear with me, folks. It's based on the premise that a galactic overlord named Xenu brought billions of beings to Earth millions of years ago, chucked them into volcanoes, exploded them with bombs, and created creatures called Thetans, which essentially is this invisible spirit that attaches itself to you and is responsible for all of the negative things in your life, ranging from anxiety, addiction, emotional pain, and more. And the only way to remove these pesky Thetans from your body is to follow L. Ron Hubbard's foolproof process. His methods involve paying boatloads of money to the church for courses called auditing classes, and even signing yourself up for a lucrative billion-year contract to the church. This cult has a shocking list of charges against it made by former members who allege the following. From the age of 2 on, you sometimes saw your parents only once a week.
Yeah.
I remember we had one nanny. She was like 16 years old, and she was like stuck with like infants. Like,
It was, that whole thought process pretty much just stopped at the point where I was like, I don't know what to do about this.
In order to investigate this religion for ourselves, we head to Scientology's 2 main hubs, Clearwater, Florida, and Los Angeles, California. What we find is a world guarded by secrecy. We have numerous clashes with church security, we hear heartbreaking stories from former members who were born into the religion, and we observe how Scientology has put a stranglehold on the city of Clearwater. Folks, truth is the most powerful weapon we have against lies, manipulation, and corruption. This is what Scientology does not want you to see. Folks, before I stick my boot up Scientology's ass, I got an announcement for you.
But like, imagine being like, my fault.
Sweatshirts
Imagine
that have
being
sold
like
out
2
many
years
times. We
old
finally
and
restocked.
not even seeing
We
your
also have a
parents
gray
all your
version right
life.
here, a new colorway.
Like, you're just sitting
and
back
also one of
and
my
like,
favorite t-shirts we ever made from the Underworld
being
collection
raised by like
on
someone
the website,
else.
TommyJimmy.com.
And then like what the other dude said, my fault. I didn't want to speak over Tommy G. But like what the other dude said, like he was like raised by a nanny who was it closer to his age than his parents were, and he like, you know what I mean, like seen her more than he seen his parents, and she was raising 6 other kids or other infants and other stuff like that. Like that's gotta be detrimental, because like now you're not even like socially, like, I don't know.
There.
It stems to something. I'm not a scientist or a psychologist, but it stems to something.
Between Clearwater and Los Angeles, this is where Scientology is primarily located. We're going undercover to start this operation, and we'll be boots on the ground here in Clearwater, Florida. These guys get $50 a week. Yeah. They need a union in Scientology, huh?
It feels like we're in like a nuclear testing town, almost.
But look, like the Scientology people on the roof right there, maybe trying to sign a $1 billion contract to Sea Org for $50 a week.
I have been helping people who have been abused or defrauded by Scientology.
This is Mark Bunker, a journalist, activist, city councilman, and Clearwater resident who spent over 2 decades fighting against Scientology. While many others would fold under the harassment and intimidation campaign that the church used on him, he has refused to be silenced. We pick him up and drive around Clearwater, and he helps us navigate Scientology's territory. Is there a place where a gathering place where they want to bring me in to tell me more about it?
There's a welcome center. This is the Hacienda Gardens, and this is where the Sea Org members live. They sign a billion-year contract to work for Scientology. The trees are going to cover up one area, or level until, boom, right here. Apparently, Miscavige lives behind those trees.
Ooh.
We would be kept up all night and sleep for a few hours under our desk. Basically, any little sense of joy that you had, there were people marching around trying to take it away. My name is Jenna Miscavige, and I was born and raised in Scientology, and I left when I was 22 years old.
This is Jenna Miscavige. She was born into Scientology and is the niece of David Miscavige, the man who seized power of the church in 1987 after L. Ron Hubbard died and has ruled the church with an iron fist allegedly ever since. This is kind of like if Kim Jong-un's niece fled North Korea, lived to tell the tale, and we got to interview her. In Scientology, her life was tightly controlled. She endured intense indoctrination, physical labor, and emotional manipulation. Here's what she had to say.
When I was 9 years old, I did what Scientology calls a
She's the my fault.
purification rundown, where I had to be in a sauna for 5 hours a day. Yeah, and I would get like bloody noses even, but you have to keep going until you achieve whatever it is they want you to. Like, you have to voice something that's the result of that program, or else you have to keep doing it, basically.
Well, my name is Serge. I grew up in Scientology.
And after surviving a period of horrific neglect as a child, the church began to groom him to be a rising star of their auditing team. Auditing, by the way, is one of the main exercises of this religion. It's the practice of someone getting relentlessly questioned until they are able to release painful or traumatic thoughts that they may be holding on to, believing that once they do that, they can free themselves of this negative baggage they are holding on to. This is his account of what he experienced.
The kids go from the very bottom of the org board, which is like the maids, the ones that are like 14-year-olds doing the beds of the adults that are booking rooms at the hotels, right? They recruit all the little young ones because they can have them do anything.
As a 12-year-old, basically, they put me into full-time training. So I was basically studying full-time. In Scientology, they would just call it an auditor. And then at one point that switched where I changed to be training to be the person who trains auditors.
This is Aaron Smith-Levin. His mom got him into Scientology at an early age, and after being pushed to drop out of public school at only 12 years old, he spent most of his waking hours working for the church. Now all grown up and free from the cult, he is one of Scientology's most active critics, known for his YouTube channel Growing Up in Scientology.
But like, how do you say no? Like, cause like the first girl, she was born into it, like literally born into it. She's the niece of the quote unquote leader of Scientology or whatever. And then the second dude was adopted into Scientology, like almost like his family like neglected him, left him. They adopted him, put him into like, you know what I mean, a center where he was raised by a family, and he was raised through Scientology from this family. And then the last dude said too, like his mom made him drop out of school, and from the age of 12 to 30 years old or whatever, he was fully active in Scientology, believing in it, had to, you know what I mean, do or withstand all types of emotional and physical trauma. And like, bro, how do you say no to that? Like, that's
Scientology.
I worked full-time for Scientology from the age of 12 to 26. I was taken out of school to work full-time for Scientology. I never went to high school. I don't have a diploma or anything like that.
Aaron's brother and I become like these like child prodigies that David Miscavige and Shelley were very obsessed with, because we completed the metering course and got a license. We were the first kids that were able to read the e-meter.
For reference, an e-meter is a sort of primitive lie detector that Scientology uses during auditing sessions to see if you are telling the truth. If an e-meter indicates to an auditor that you may be hiding something, even your darkest secret, you will be questioned again and again and again until you reveal that thought.
Perfectly on a video and get a pass by Shelley Miscavige, which was like the biggest deal in the world at the time.
You weren't just born into any family in Scientology, the Miscavige family. Of course, in attempting to get both sides of the story, we sent multiple interview requests to Scientology to speak to David Miscavige or a media representative. But due to the disastrous feedback they get when they do speak publicly, the church quite simply does not do interviews. In fact, David Miscavige has only done one interview with a journalist, with Ted Koppel back in 1992.
You realize there's a little bit of a problem in getting people to talk critically about the Church of Scientology, because quite frankly, they're scared.
Oh, no.
And since then, and for over 30 years, he has been radio silent except for totally scripted and bizarre Scientology-made media that looks like this.
Whatever you have heard, if you haven't heard it from us, I can assure you, we are not what you expect.
For a man that rules Scientology like a big tough guy, little David folds like a lawn chair when it comes to any sort of accountability or questions from the public. But there may be a reason for that. Here are some of the allegations against David.
You have written a whole book about your son, and you've called the book Ruthless.
Yeah.
A very, very...
His father? His own father's? That's insane. His own father calls him a monster. And he's the one that gave him the last name.
Aggressive style and a tendency to violent outbursts that are physical in nature.
And to give you an idea of what type of guy he is, just look at what he did to his own parents that left Scientology. He and the church published hit piece websites about his parents, claiming his dad to be nothing more than a pots and pans salesman who punches his wife, and also adding that he lied about his book, saying that he was not in prison, he was not starved, and he did not have to escape from the church. And then he made his stepmom out to be a lying gold digger who wants to exploit her stepson for fame. My guy Keegan did some digging and found out that after David's parents escaped the church, they eventually settled down in West Allis, which is only 10 minutes from us in Milwaukee. He FOIA requested West Allis police records and found that Scientology paid a private investigator 10 grand a week to tail his dad and give hourly reports on his activities and whereabouts. This private investigator was found with a gun, silencer, and over 2,000 rounds of ammunition in his trunk. Stalking people with private investigators is allegedly a favorite tactic of this lovely church and shows you just the tip of the iceberg of how much Scientology tries to ruin your life if you leave the religion or try and speak out against them.
So they followed the father, your father and your stepmom with a private investigator who had 1,000 rounds in a backseat. Who was he shooting at? He's shooting at your father. And you, bro, that's insane, bro. Your dad wanted to leave the religion that you so heartily believe in, and instead of you going, yeah, dad, go ahead, go live your life wherever you want to. I don't care. Just don't, you know what I mean, talk mess about me. You said, all right, go ahead, dad. And then said, if he even whispers my name, you pop that dude in the head. That's your father.
I don't know how many people they squeeze into one apartment. 8 to 12, I believe.
From the outside, it looks like a normal Florida apartment complex. What they are is 2 and 3 bedroom units where you've got like 4 bunk beds in the living room, 4 more bunk beds in each bedroom. Like you could be fitting like 15 people, easily 15 people into a unit. Like it's illegal.
They'll charge you for the apartment, for the food, for this, that, and the other thing. So if you leave, there are people who leave with $100,000 bill or more.
So I was born in Scientology. From the very first breath that I took, I was in the billion-year contract wrapped up because my parents had been recruited to go to the AFA. My parents are from North Mexico. I grew up in appalling conditions. In Mexico, the cadet org was disgusting. It was like 100 kids. I remember we had one nanny. She was like 16 years old and she was like stuck with like infants. Like my sister also grew up there. And I remember still like her being in a crib, you know, like with full of urine, like no care for the babies at all.
Folks, we gotta emphasize what we just heard because it's so crazy. Imagine this, dozens of babies in a room, many of them crying, needing to be held, sitting in their own dirty diaper, and just one overwhelmed teenager caring for them, allegedly. It's sickening, and the reason, allegedly, this is done is because good old L. Ron Hubbard basically believes that babies should be treated like adults and they don't need any special sort of care or attention. From the age...
Hold on, what? I'm sorry, I gotta pause that. In Scientology doctrine, children are regarded as being adults in small bodies. According to L. Ron Hubbard, their bodies house ancient immortal deities or spirits who are capable of carrying out same responsibilities as any adult. Because their spirits are regarded as ageless, their statues as children is irrelevant. Scientologists working as staff members believe that their most important purpose is saving the world and everything else is secondary. Vicky Arzaran, a former church official, explains Scientology comes first, everything else is off purpose. Parents who want to spend time with their children are looked down upon. It's not socially acceptable. That is crazy. Basically, he's saying that babies are demons. That's basically what I just heard.
And they don't need
he
any
said
special
babies
sort
are
of
demons.
care or attention. From the age of 2 on, you sometimes saw your parents only once a week.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
So my parents worked for Scientology's most dedicated group called the Sea Org, the Sea Organization. They signed a contract pledging themselves lifetime after lifetime for 1 billion years to servitude to Scientology. It meant that they worked like 115-hour weeks. They got little to no time off.
Kids that were born into the Sea Org were taken care of by nannies. They didn't see their parents. They were lucky they saw them for an hour a week.
What are the benefits of doing all this? Why would someone devote their life to this?
When you're doing it, you think that you're dedicating yourself to an amazing cause. You think that you're like saving mankind, and it's sort of like the greatest purpose you could have.
And our parents were in this mission to save the world, right? It's like they're all like stuck in this like, you know, job that they were doing for Scientology that they were prioritizing over their newborns, basically.
Well, they really believe they're saving the planet. This is like a mind control factory.
We wanted to get our feet wet with Scientology, so we went to their welcome center where they were selling the Diagnetic books, and I happen to know after doing some research that a lady named Pat sat at the front desk, and she was actually a media liaison. So I thought she'd be a good person to talk to. Here's how this mission went. Good morning, good morning. Oh, I'm a travel vlogger.
No filming.
Oh, I'm just a travel vlogger. Pat Harney, you gotta relax. This is public, right? You open it up. All are welcome. L. Ron Hubbard. And who is L. Ron Hubbard?
He is a science fiction, Western fantasy author, born in 1911 in Tilden, Nebraska. He is a guy who lived an amazing life, but was a pathological liar and a con man. He basically created Dianetics as sort of this like poor man's psychotherapy, and then a few years later created Scientology.
Hey there, how you doing?
Private property.
I'm just trying to buy a book, sir. And why is no one here answer questions?
Might come over here.
Can I buy a book first?
Private property, you can, but you can buy it out here.
Are you like a leader here?
Can you please come outside?
Are you a Sea Org member?
Can you please come outside?
I will come outside if you can answer like 3 questions. I would love to come outside.
Come outside, please. This is private property.
Hey, Elron. All right, Pat, have a good day. I wish we could have talked more, honestly. Hey guys, they're not really open to the public anymore. We have their Agent Smith coming.
Can you come up?
Oh no. Agent Smith, what got you into Scientology? Oh, sorry, I'm just...
Can you watch out, sir?
Hold on, I'm standing still. He's taking a picture. I'm trying to pose. I don't want it to be a blurry photo. The Hacienda Gardens, what time do you think I should be by later? Like, do you guys do cookouts or anything like that?
Yeah, something like that.
I bet you guys would actually enjoy...
Check out our website, check out our TV channel, okay? Fantastic.
All right.
I would have followed them in. I would have pushed it a little bit more and just followed them in.
They answer no questions. I wasn't allowed to buy the book, which I was genuinely, I would have bought the book. I met Pat at the front.
Pat's basically a PR person here.
Oh, she's the PR person. No one would answer even one question.
Of course not.
Next, we went to the infamous flag building to see if we could infiltrate and see what was going on inside. Unfortunately, a call to the Clearwater Police Department had already been made, and as soon as I touched the doors, I turned around and saw the police waiting for me. Looks like the police may have been called and are following us.
There was a call on a van
A suspicious vehicle?
You guys can film all you want, but just don't antagonize them, I should say. Otherwise, they're gonna do a criminal trespass on you. So that means if you step foot on any of their property, you go to jail. It's silly.
But right now, I'm really just trying to talk to one Scientology member that'll answer.
Good luck.
Even the cops know. Like, even the cops know. That is insane. Even the cops know. They're like, good luck. Go ahead and try. Go ahead and try. Because all the reports that we keep getting about them, we can't even interview them. You know what I mean? People come to our building all the time trying to get them going and tell us about what they experienced over there. But we can't even do nothing. That's insane.
What is it like living in a city that's dominated by Scientology?
It's horrible. When we see them, they're marching in line like zombies, you know, down the street.
What do you think about them owning $200 million worth of real estate?
I mean, if that's what they want to do and they're not hurting anybody else, just as long as they're American citizens.
Well, they bought that whole block.
You asked the whole racist something. He don't care about no Scientology. He said, hey, if they want to own property, go ahead, own property, as long as they're not illegal. That's the only thing he cares about.
2 blocks, I believe. And then across the street, too.
They pay their taxes.
They're tax exempt.
Well, I disagree with that. Elon Musk needs to get on that. It needs to be looked at, investigated, and someone to make a good decision on that. And that's going to be President Trump.
Nobody knows anything.
Is the town trying to do something to...
The commissioners are. But what can you do?
Scientology started secretly buying up all the property downtown here in 2017.
So all the property in downtown Clearwater is all theirs, all Scientology. So all the restaurants, all the bars, all that stuff is all theirs. So they just...
I was working in the hotels, I was doing demolition, I was doing construction, I was doing HVAC, and I was there with several hundred kids from all over the world. I was working 7 days a week, 8 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, 365 days a year for 4 years.
So a lot of it was training, a lot of it was cleaning, and we did like laundry and clean the rooms of executives, so they would like inspect with a white glove to make sure that we didn't miss anything.
So every time so every single time he goes to Clearwater, he has a whole penthouse he can stay in. Or that's what in the world? What is Tom? He went from Scientology to politics. He really only care about politics. Like, I don't, he don't really care about nothing. That dude just racist. That's the only thing he cares about. Like, that's really the only thing he cares about. It's just, as long as they pay their taxes and whatever, bro, and not illegal, I don't care. That's all he's really trying to say. Because then he's like, and Donald Trump will make sure that happens. Like, okay. Like, you don't think any other president is checking someone's IRS and tax statements? Like, okay. Like, that, like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, like Obama did more with taxes and all that stuff than Trump did his first year presidency. I don't know what they talking about. Even Biden too. But it is what it is. Like, you think Trump's the one that's gonna worry about people's taxes? They trying to get Trump's taxes. Like, I don't know, man. That's just how I seen it. He's just racist. He's just an old racist dude.
Tom Cruise gives all credit to Scientology for his success. Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise because he's Tom Cruise, not because of Scientology.
Every single window is closed. Mm-hmm. Every single blind that you could see into is closed at a certain level until it ends. They're a very don't look in here type of a place. What was going through your head when your parents decided we're going back into it?
Since my whole entire family was connected to it, it never left us. So we were still kind of like exposed
relatives
to
were into it
my
as well.
relatives, all my aunts, all my uncles, all my cousins, everybody. I signed a 1 billion-year contract, and now I'm there for the rest of my life. And my pay was gonna be $50 a week. So I was like, oh damn, I'm 10K and that $50 a week. I'm like, okay, I guess I just have to really make it here
When I was 12 years old, I was moved across the country here to Clearwater, and my parents were still in California.
Any part of you say, something's not right here, something's really wrong?
I don't think that second part.
Imagine being 12 years old and you're like, I guess it's different when like your parents are divorced, but your parents are still married, still together, but they just send you across the country to a whole different state where you don't know anybody. You may seen a couple relatives from there a couple times, like on vacation and stuff like that when they came to visit the church in California. But you don't really know anybody out there, and you're 12 years old. You're sent to a whole different part of the country, a whole different state. Like,
added into it. Not like there's something really wrong. It was, that whole thought process pretty much just stopped at the point where I was like, I don't know what to do about this.
Even the higher ups, like, yes, they had some things easier, but that's really mostly at the top. I feel like Scientology is like a game of power, and everybody has to report on each other, and that's how you get to the top, is essentially by throwing other people under the bus. That's the only way you can feel important.
The way to happiness? This used to be the Lisa McPherson Trust. This is where we had our offices, right next door to Scientology's. OSA, Department of Office of Special Affairs, was right there. The dirty tricks people, right through there. That was my office, right behind these windows here. All locked up. They don't want anyone to see what's going on in there now. Now that they know your cameras are here, this entire several blocks of front groups are shut down.
One thing that comes to my mind when I walk past all these empty buildings that look like they're fully
so you telling me that as soon as Tommy G went to that one location where he would Pat or whatever, now all of a sudden the whole city of Clearwater knows that Tommy G's here and he's doing reports on Scientology? That's insane. That's insane. What one phone call, now the whole Clearwater community knows.
Offices, but no one's here.
Right.
It's like North Korea. It's like a very staged play that you're a part of.
Yeah.
Yet when you look, just peek a little bit behind the surface, like there's no one. All the windows are shut. There's no sunlight coming in. There's no one here. Look. They make it look like someone just had a meeting in here, or let's see if there's a front desk right here. This is an office that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, this is an office that should have at least a front desk worker, if not an employee. None of this has anyone in it. No city on earth feels the negative effects of Scientology quite like Clearwater, Florida. Some fantastic reporting by the Tampa Bay Times reveals how the church has taken over the city. In 1975, the church purchased the Fort Harrison Hotel and made this their headquarters. Over the decades, the church began acquiring real estate at a ferocious pace, scooping up property after property. Since then, they've poured hundreds of millions into more than 200 buildings, owning the majority of the Clearwater downtown. Mind you, this is with tax-free money because somehow the IRS lost their balls when confronting the church, ruling in
1992, the Church of Scientology was granted tax-exempt status in the United States, its home country, though it has received religious recognition in some countries. In other countries, it operates either as a non-profit or for-profit non-religious organization.
1993, Scientology to be a tax-exempt religion. The weird thing is, they've left most of the buildings vacant, turning Clearwater into a sort of North Korean ghost town. The question is why? Insiders speculate it's because they want to show a dominant presence, but the truth is they simply do not have the numbers of people to occupy these buildings. And it's no surprise. Their peak membership numbers were before the internet, but now that their practices are widely publicized, they are unable to recruit new members and are slowly going extinct. But even as a dying empire, they still have a great deal of power over Clearwater, and they are crushing the businesses in the downtown. Just take it from Tony, a local entrepreneur who is facing dire financial circumstances because of the church.
So this is obviously our place. We start off with the Nash keys, and between like bureaucracy and stagnation, we had harassing phone calls about us not being part of the community, to get out of the town, even death threats later. But it took us 3 years to get these places open, 1.5 years of permitting. More walls than you can imagine were being put up for us, but we got open.
When you say death threats, tell me more about that.
Death threats meaning like poisoning, harassing to get the f out of the town. that...
Someone tried poisoning you?
No, they allude to that they're going to poison me.
Describe what's happened to this block over time and how Scientology has impeded local business and pride.
The way they actually affect it is that the negative stigma that has on it, the overbearing control and presence that they portray. They like to portray like a sense of unity that is disheartening to the most of the community.
Is that their bus behind us?
Absolutely. They're more organized than our government.
And their bus windows are blacked out.
Yes, they have very weird things that they do. I've seen a bunch of strange things. This is it. It's a two-story club.
It is nice, and in the evening times, I've seen this place just booming.
If you want to fight against the empire of Scientology, come into this local business, spend some money, get a cigar, get a drink, and meet this handsome fella right here.
Let's take back Clearwater, $1 at a time, like you just said.
Do you remember what feelings were going on in your head as a 5-year-old that led to the paint thinner?
That's insane. Like, all this dude is trying to add some revenue to his pockets, help the businesses downtown, get some people to the area. Like, if one thing Scientology y'all should be doing is like trying to, you know what I mean, collab with bro, trying to be like, hey, you know what I mean, like, we'll let you do your restaurant, but let us own the building or something like that. You feel what I'm saying? I think it would be very good if we work together. Like, instead of trying to, you know what I mean, be like, oh, you're not a Scientologist, da-da-da-da, like, join our community or get out of here. Like, that's, I don't know.
We had no one to go to. Like, there was no adults around. Like, all the adults were compromised. In 1986, L. Ron Hubbard ends up dead, and because they had seen that a lot of people had left the Scientology because they were treating them so horribly, they would always come back with this amnesty. We're gonna forgive you for all the suppressive acts you committed. If you come back, if you write them down, then we'll forgive you, and then pretend they didn't happen. So that's when my parents got roped back in. They said, you're suppressive because you blew because your child almost died. Oh no, we're gonna forgive you for having left without permission.
To really see what's going on in Hacienda Gardens, we got a drone operator that's going to be able to show us what's happening and also show us their real estate holdings. Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you. Big fan. This is crazy. Did
Appreciate
not expect
you,
this
man.
today.
Oh, if you could go over to where the pool is, then that will help orient me a little better. It's like if you
want to turn around?
Yeah, straight up there. Yeah, and go to the end. That was where.
Right here?
That was the end one, yeah. And my mom.
That was the
And that
penthouse
ending.
suite there?
It was just 4 condos, and there would always be a security guard posted, sitting across the way looking.
It actually won't let me go lower. That's weird.
Do you think it's a blocker?
That's the only thing I can think of, because they'll let me go up, but it won't let me go back down to where I was.
Interesting.
It's really odd.
And you lived in these apartments for how long?
What? They have they got a drone blocker because then they would be able to see where the security guard is at.
Go lower. That's weird.
Do you think it's a blocker?
That's the only thing I can think of, because they'll let me go up, but it won't let me go back down to where I was.
Interesting.
It's really odd.
And you lived in these apartments for how long?
For about 4 years.
I lived here for a few years as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember which block you lived in?
Multiple blocks, but one of the last ones was this one right here.
And you really can't get out unless they let you out. Like, we would have to come out and tell them what we were doing. Like, if it was on one of the mornings where we would do cleaning, and if we wanted to, like, go to the gas station or something like that, we'd have to
Like, even
talk.
going for a walk
that's
outside?
the thing, like a normal apartment complex, you know, the magnetic doors, you know.
Well, if you turn off the drone will drop, right? And then the problem is, if the drone drops into the property, you're not gonna be able to get the drone back out. Because the issue is they're trying to get the drone like into the property a little bit down more, but the drone is literally just like the blocker is just only allowing them to hover on the top of the buildings, like get a scenic view of it. But it won't let them actually see like inside the apartment complex and let them fly ground level or anything like that. So if they turn it off, then they lose the drone.
You know, like if you have gates and magnetic doors, usually you can get out. You might need a key to get in. You cannot get out of this apartment complex without a security guard letting you out and opening the gate.
Is that D block? Why can't I read it? Yeah, that's D block.
Okay, so I lived here.
Oh, D Block Duke. Oh snap! It's where D Block Duke from. All right, bet. All right, this is D Block. All right, they on D Block right now, chat.
D Block.
Yeah.
Like
so
towards-
interestingly, they actually turned the camera away from us.
Oh, that's weird. Anyway, so I lived at the end of D Block in like the lower levels. They actually had fixed these ones up to be a little bit nicer.
Would you be surprised if they had vehicles patrolling?
I'm sure they have vehicles patrolling.
Is it that? Are they that paranoid?
Yeah. I mean, David Miscavige takes his security as seriously as a head of state.
The car's getting in. Let's get in. Hey, we got a meeting with David Miscavige. Go. Hey, look at the flashing. Go back. Hold on. Hold on, please, sir. I just want to ask questions of David. Sir, please. Stop, sir. Sir, please. Oh, sir, ow!
Geez, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 cameras on us right now.
How long were your parents out before they went back in?
What was this? Like maybe like 3,
Bro.
4 years. Then L. Ron Hubbard dies. They go back to Mexico. They get recruited back in again.
Was their life terrible outside of Scientology?
My grandparents were chill. My grandparents were normal people.
So what would have possibly motivated after they escaped and had freedom for 3 or 4 years?
Scientology caters to a narcissistic personality because the thing is, it promises
They're hiding a lot, bro. They're
superiority.
hiding a lot
It
right now,
promises
Benji. They
you're gonna be
hiding
better
their
than
whole
everyone
entity,
else.
bro. They
Do you
can't
ever get to
let
confront your
they
parents
can't
about
let
that or ask them?
outsiders in
Are they
because
still in it?
it'll be
No,
too
my
much.
parents aren't in Scientology anymore, and they think Scientology is horrible, and they've said that it's like the biggest regret of their life.
How was it escaping Scientology?
Well, I guess the thing is that in Scientology, you know, at certain levels of management, they actually won't let you leave. Like the area will be surrounded by gates and they won't let you out the door. If you manage to leave, they'll chase you because when you leave, people who are in Scientology are no longer able to speak to you. You can't get a job at a Scientology company. Like in my case, I didn't know how to drive. I didn't have a bank account. And so your livelihood actually getting a job depends on you being connected to these people, or you lose every family member. And so while you can just walk away, that's like totally deceiving. You risk losing everything that's important to you if you do.
I got it in my head that we wanted to storm the Celebrity Center, which is the place that the highest ranking and most influential.
Like it's basically what it is. It's basically a cult. You lose everything. You don't have a social security card. You don't have a birth certificate. You don't have an ID. And it's like, so, and you can't get anything without anything. You can't get a bank account without that. You can't get, like, all right, you can't get a social security card without a form of ID. You can't get a birth certificate without a form of ID. And you can't get an ID without a social security card, a birth certificate, and a proof of address or a bank statement or tax statement. So it's like, you have no, like, way to do anything. With like, and then the same thing, to even get a bank account, you need your ID, maybe birth certificate, social security card, and proof of address. So it's like, you're literally stuck with nothing as soon as you leave. Like, you have nothing. Literally, you're to the government, like to the literal government, you're non-existent. Like, if you get pulled over by police and you're just walking down the street, or you know what I mean, driving your friend, like if you're riding in a friend's car, you're like, you can't even get a job. Let it, like, bro, like 9 times out of 10, bro, like if like that's so tragic. Like, you literally can't do nothing in the States. Literally nothing. Like, literally, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. Like, you can't even make money. You can't do nothing without, like, because it's not like you could go to them and be like, hey, can I get my social security card, my birth certificate, and all this stuff? Because they're going to be like, no, you want to leave, right? Go ahead and leave. Only people that support us or with us able to access to that. So it's like, bro, that's insane, bro. That's insane. Like, you'd have to be, like, real smart and strategic with the way you do certain things. Bro.
Scientologists go. Actors like Tom Cruise and John Travolta, and businessmen like Grant Cardone. So I wanted to see for myself what was behind these walls. Here's how that went. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait, where is the private property line? Where's the line?
Under the sidewalk. It's private property. Guys, it's private property.
Is
You're
that
on
guy?
the sidewalk.
He's on private. Oh my God, he's on private
Right
property.
on the sidewalk.
No, but
You're on private property.
what makes it worth selling your soul for $1 billion years?
Just close. Just move to the sidewalk. That's
Does
what we're
Tom
asking.
Cruise know that you guys work for $50 a week?
What we're asking is just to move to the sidewalk. You need you to move out here.
Oh, whoa.
From this way.
Are you?
You just need to move off private property.
Why are you bumping and grinding on me? This ain't a Nelly song.
We need you to
partner.
move off. You're on private property, sir.
How do we talk to someone from Scientology?
You guys need to leave right now. Get off the property. Get off the property. You're trespassing. You need to leave right now. You need to leave right now.
Don't
It's
touch
private
me.
property.
Don't touch me.
It's private property. You need to leave right now. Leave right now. It's private property.
All right, we'll be back. We'll be back.
Sir, just need.
Are
You
you
just
guys
need to be.
pushing me?
Stop pushing me.
You push me.
I just need. You're on private property. We just need to move off here.
I don't
Excuse
have
me.
anything against you guys. I'm
Excuse
just
me?
curious.
He's
What?
trying to
help y'all escape.
You can escape. You still can leave. Like, to think that you would work 80 hours a week, what makes it worth it? Are the security guys there? Are they Scientologists?
It's probably benefits though. Like, there's no way someone's like, oh, I'm gonna do $50 a day, and then I don't know, bro. Like, it's got to be something, bro. I don't know.
Yes, they're actually some of the most important Scientologists. Have you ever heard of the term OSA? That's the Office of Special Affairs. Sort of like Scientology's FBI, CIA, Secret Service all in one. So they do all the dirty work. They're very high ranking.
Dude, what would have happened if we would have a fist fight?
That would have been good content.
You would have fucking moved.
This is William Jude. When I told
Bro.
Aaron Levin Smith I was headed to LA to further investigate the church there, he said you gotta meet up with William. Known for his work battling the church on his YouTube channel Scientology Audit LA Streets, William has spent months documenting and battling Scientology. Together, we go on a mission to infiltrate the church's LA stronghold.
So my name is William Good. I'm an activist out here. Had a beef with Scientology a couple of years ago, and they said some really crude things to me.
What do they say?
A security guard told me to suck his So I thought that was kind of crude, so I said I'm going to end your religion, and so here we are. So they're working 110 hours a week for nothing.
They're literally slaves.
They're slaves, and a lot of these people come from other countries, right? So they bring them here on religious visas, and then once we get here, they take their paperwork away, so now they're stuck.
Should we visit one of their plantations?
Sure. Let's go for it.
Let's go.
All right.
All right, can we slow down? Can we slow down on those slave and plantation words? Can we slow down, please?
So let's just drive by there real quick so I can just show you how to go about doing it. Then park a few blocks away, and then if you walk in with your cameras,
yeah,
there's no chance. Because when I come walking on the street, I have to hug the wall so they don't see me. The minute she sees me, she goes, they will literally run in there and close the door.
We got our guy, Cheddar, aka Texas Buzz, back for another investigative piece. You may have seen him in the sex, money, murder piece in Dallas, where he infiltrated the prostitution ring. Now we're sending you into Scientology, man.
Yeah.
How you feel?
I don't know too much about this, so I'm just gonna go in there and be genuinely curious, like what's going on.
I think that's the perfect approach. It's gonna be similar to the Clearwater bookstore, so we want to get a fresh perspective. So, Cheddar, good luck on your mission.
Got you.
And no tortas on the way there. Just make it straight to the wall,
I got
okay?
you.
Go get him, Cheddar.
Doors are locked, doors are closed.
Oh, they shut the doors.
Yeah, so they realized. They're no joke with the things.
What happened in there?
No, nothing.
They just closed the
closed the doors.
Did you see him close the doors?
No.
They already had him closed.
They already had him closed.
This is Dre. He's one of the editors on my team and has been with us for a few months cranking out videos. In making this piece, we found out that he actually had joined Scientology for about a week. Here's what we learned from him.
I'm Dre, and I almost joined Scientology. It was back in 2020 that I took a trip out to LA. Being in the area, you always heard about Tom Cruise talking about Scientology. So it was one of those stops I wanted to do. I was just on a regular touristy trip. I was looking at the stars, and then they got people in suits always just walking down and forth closer to the Scientology building. So that's where they got me. Initially, when you go into that building, they have their showroom. So that first half that I stepped into was the museum part, and they have posters, TVs, small little like segments of like who they are. And then once you go into the back room, it looks more of an office, but like higher end office. They have their cubicles, they'll bring you into one of their cubicles and start talking to you. It felt like therapy. The whole time they're very personal, so they're always looking at you. It feels like they actually want to get to know you. We were in there for, I would want to say like 4 hours. They emphasized me coming back, and they kept on saying like, oh, well, how long are you here till? You know, could you come back tomorrow? We can like do more things. So they took me from the initial consultation, I'm gonna call it, and then they pitched me the, well, you know, we think you'd benefit from this first seminar, which is this book right here. I got this book during that seminar. So someone was leading the course, they showed us videos, we talked about it, they made us like write, so it was a full blown, you're interacting with the person teaching us, and then the videos they're showing us.
Was that the last time you went? Like, did you ever return to Scientology?
I never went back, but I know that I continuously get emails and I still get letters sent to me.
Is that Jennifer?
About being in Scientology, bro. It be the closest ones next to you that, you know what I mean? Bro, that's insane.
Jennifer.
Crosshauer, she's like their main,
I just pull up to their work.
that is Jennifer.
That is Jennifer. Should we talk to her?
Try to.
The lady Williams spotted is Jennifer Krosskopf. She is Scientology's chief legal officer, even though it's unclear if she even has a license to practice law. She's the one in charge of things like getting restraining orders on protesters and personally signing all legal documents between the church and the city of Los Angeles. We jump out on foot to try and speak with her. Jennifer, can we talk to you a little bit? How's the Sea Org treating you? We can help you get out if you want to. Jenny!
Stay off the property, you're trespassing.
Where does it start?
Nope.
Where, can you tell me where the line is?
Private property. Let's go. Let's go. Get out of the property. You're
Fuck out. Get out. You're trespassing.
Where's the line?
Okay.
Where's the line?
Pepper spray. Now you get out or I'm gonna use it.
That seems like a crime.
Yes, go ahead, report it.
That's a little pussy move.
See, that was easy.
A real man wouldn't need pepper spray. I would love to see the inside. Has any footage really been captured?
That dude really did, bro. He said, yup. He said, yup, that's what I thought. Yup, that's what I thought. Back up. Get off the property.
On the inside?
Through the windows, but every time we film through the windows, they try to prosecute. You notice something, no windows are open, right? Shades are down everywhere.
So with the internet, it's almost impossible for them to recruit.
Yeah.
Before the internet, when information wasn't exposed, it was a cool hip Hollywood thing. All the LA people were doing it. Monkey see, monkey do. But that ship has sailed.
Yeah, the Celebrity Center, the reason they bought the Celebrity Center is that was going to be their main recruiting spot. That's where all the stars are going to come hang out, and you know what? I want to be part of that. That's cool. And they give acting classes there for free? Hell yeah, I want to go there. Little do you know, it's not really an acting class, you're just being recruited in. But now, because of information, all the younger generation knows. They're like, oh no, that place is a cult.
What was the moment that drove you to the point where you said, I gotta get out of here?
It's hard to just say one moment because so many things happened throughout my life. So many things that were horrible, so many things that should have been the moment. But it was after a period of time where I had been on a Scientology mission that was in an area where it wasn't as so rigid as the base that I had returned to after, where they weren't letting people sleep. They were like, if you were to fall asleep during an L. Ron Hubbard lecture, they would make you like, they would first embarrass you in front of everybody by screaming at you, and then they would make you scrub the dumpster with a toothbrush, and we weren't having any time off at all. So it was just getting more and more strict.
What made your parents leave?
They were at Scientology's international management base, and so they were witness to a lot of things that were going on there, including my uncle David.
Hold on. The Hole is a detention building known as SP Hole, the SP Hole, or the ACE Room, or the CML Intel Chair is operated by Church of Scientology on the Gold Base, a private compound near the town of Hemet in Riverside County, California. Dozens of its senior executives have been confined within building for months and years. It consists of a set of double wide trailers within a Scientology compound, joined together to form a suite of offices which were formerly used by Scientology's international management team. According to former members of Scientology media reports from 2004, the church leader David Miscavige sent dozens of senior Scientology executives to the hole. The Tampa Bay Times described it in January 2023, in January 2013 article as a place of confinement, humiliation, where Scientologist management culture was always demanding, grew extreme. Inside a who's whom of Scientology leadership went at each other with a brutal tongue lashings and even hands and fists. They intimidated each other into crawling on their knees and standing on trash cans and confessing the things they hadn't done. They lived in degrading conditions, eating and sleeping in cramped spaces designed for office use. Wow. Oh, up to 100 people were in there at that time.
At Scientology's international management base, and so they were witness to a lot of things that were going on there, including my uncle David Miscavige, who's the leader of Scientology, like physically beating staff.
Like punching him?
Yeah, like punching in the face. And my parents themselves were separated from each other for many, many years.
This is a loaded question, but do you feel robbed of your childhood?
Yeah, actually I do often feel that way. I mean, I don't like go around being angry at it all the time. There was a period when I first came out of Scientology when I was angry at certain things that happened, but honestly, once I
As a
became a
right
mom,
as she should
I
be.
actually started to get a little bit more angry about my childhood because I just didn't.
She didn't understand
know.
how to be a child.
What's your prediction about the future of Scientology?
These stories of how Scientology treats children are going to come out more and more, and people are going to be disgusted by them. So I feel like the more stories that come out into the public, the more, whether it's a legal battle that takes them down or just like a public relations or both, it's like nobody will join. They'll eventually be bled dry, and hopefully they have some legal battles that they lose as well, and it all comes together.
To show you how full of lies and manipulation this church is.
Hey, chat. So isn't this just like capitalism then? It's just a religion of capitalism. That's what I'm hearing.
Check out the
pussy move.
Oh.
Disgusted by them. So I feel like the more stories that come out into the public, the more.
My fault. But it's just a religion of capitalism. That's really what it is. It's just a religion of capitalism. It's just you work for me, I drain everything you have, take everything you got, you give me everything, and this, that, and the third.
Whether it's a legal battle that takes them down or just like a public relations or both, it's like nobody will join. They'll eventually be bled dry, and hopefully they have some.
That's all right. So I'm right. It's just capitalism then. It's like you said, Benji. It's every worst part of capitalism. So it's like, bro. Like you get paid, you work almost 150. Like imagine doing 150 hours a week, bro. 7 days a week, 150 hours, working nonstop. Like, bro, like that, like, oh my gosh, bro. That's like 6 days of 12-hour shifts plus 1 day is like 20 hours a day. So it's like, bro, that's insane, bro.
Legal battles that they lose as well.
And that's why like kids, like their kids maybe resent their parents because like she says she has to resent her parents because their parents were under the false narrative too until their parents really seen what they were contributing to. You know what I mean? Seeing the violence and abuse that they were contributing to. They didn't see the violence and abuse that they were contributing to their daughter because everything was all emotionally and verbally. So they just took it as like discipline, right? But then when they seen the physical abuse, that's when they decided to leave. When I don't know, Del Mar's parents, right? Del Mar's parents, they eventually left after, you know what I mean, Ron Hubbard died in 1986. And then when what is it? Her uncle David, this girl's uncle David had the decided to, you know what I mean, take over the Scientology church or whatever, they, you know what I mean, came back and then, and quote, like, basically repent their sins to Scientology and was able to join back in. So it's like, it's, bro, I don't know.
And it all comes together.
To show you how full of lies and manipulation this church is, just check out this 911 call they made on us.
Hey, Northeast Unit 45906, just left 1306 Elron Hubbard Way, Church of Scientology. CPR can direct to suspects 45 male whites. No further suspect vehicles.
They claimed we burglarized the church and fled the scene in our rental car. Here is us saying hello to the LAPD when they reported to the scene.
They're pointing at us. You want to pull over and talk to them?
Hey there!
The entire
So apparently the LAPD showed up to the scene.
just park right here and just walk up.
Give my regards to Xenu, okay? Thank you. One thing to question is this. When there are repeated calls to a location like there is with Scientology, typically a city will label the property a nuisance property, which means the property in question must correct their issues or
A nuisance property is a building or structure or other real estate that either currently or has potential to become a public nuisance. This means it either interferes with the public's use of enjoyment of their property or affects their health and safety and comfort.
face legal action from the city. So why is it that Scientology can blatantly lie, allegedly, and disproportionately use city resources without repercussions? And keep in mind
They called multiple times. That's misuse of 911, bro. Bro, come on, bro.
they're doing this as
That's
an entity
misuse of
that does not
911.
even pay taxes. All right, folks, that was a look into the world of Scientology. If you'd like to see more of William's stuff, his Instagram and YouTube is tagged in the description. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey. Don't join a cult. We'll see you next week. And my final thoughts is I send my regards to David Miscavige. Peace. Folks, after seeing all this, you might be wondering a few things. Like, number one, why in the fuck has the FBI not kicked down this place's door, raided them, and gotten everyone responsible for child neglect and the other insane behaviors, allegedly, arrested? The other thing that comes to mind is how in the God's green earth is this place tax exempt after amassing a multi-$100 million real estate portfolio? I guess I'm gonna start my own religion so I can get rich too. Folks, I don't have all of these answers, but what I do know is this. If you send me other leads to cults, churches, people that need investigating, I will go boots on the ground. So send me leads to TommyGMcGee123@gmail.com and I will report for duty. I love you guys, fuck Scientology, and see you next week.
Okay, Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Luigi's lawyer. I don't know who. Luigi, the healthcare guy shooter. Okay. Stretch. Oh, that was a long episode. But yo, that's just like, it's just a cult of capitalism, right? That's really what it is. It's just capitalism, people just doing their best, whatever. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, that's all I see, bro. That's all I see. I just like, and then like, you gotta think like all the people, you gotta think about all those people who came to the country, like, thinking like, oh yeah, like, we're gonna be okay, we're gonna be good, like, we're gonna have housing, we're gonna have work, we're gonna have job placements, all this stuff. And then now, like, they try to leave or do something better for themselves, make more income and all this stuff. Like, I don't know, bro. That's insane, bro. That's insane, bro. I called 911 before because I lost my yard. Are you serious, bro? Big Mod, what are you doing in here? Big Mod, what are you doing in here, Big Mod? Big Mod, can you tell me what you're doing in here, Big Mod? And to think that they weren't exposed until recently, all the people that they hurt with no repercussions. Exactly, bro. Exactly. I don't know. Yo, gang. Hold on. Why is he? Oh, there it goes. Yo, gang. I appreciate everything. Appreciate you putting in the work every day. You really are on here every day, grinding, making a name for yourself. Certified GOAT. Thank you, gangsta. I appreciate you for the support, man. we just trying to do better every day, man. Like yesterday I was trying to stream, but I had a little technical difficulty issues. I gotta figure out some other things. But yeah, man, we just trying to grow every day, man. Just you know what I mean, God willing, God everything we can do. You know what I mean? I'm running up this little bit of money I can every single time I can do it. But yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm trying to do my best, bro. I'm just trying to do my best every single day. Just trying to do my best. That's all I can really say, chat. Trying to do my best every single day. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna say, but like Phantom said it. You know what I mean? We gotta be better than the day yesterday. You feel what I'm saying? That's the only thing we can do, man. I seen Agent hit 1,050,000 in one day, bro. Like, and just seeing him, like, I don't know, bro. It's like you never want to compare yourself to other people, but it's like at the end of the day, like it's not bad to look up to people. You feel what I'm saying? Like seeing people hit those type of goals, hit those type of milestones, like Agent, bro. People like Agent might people might not be like oh Agent's not like consistent, I guess. But Agent streams every single day, no matter what time, bro. Like like him and Reggie, bro. Like Reggie might go spark up on a stream at 1 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 p.m., 6 p.m., 1 p.m. Agent spark up a stream 8 a.m., noon, 3 p.m., 7 p.m. You know what I mean? Like it's like those type of things like you just kind of like see and you just kind of like all right, boom, like I could do that too. So it's like if I'm up at 8 a.m., if I'm up at 7 a.m., like and I'm not doing no, like why would I just sit on my phone and scroll on TikTok or YouTube and watch other people's shorts? Like why not be the person making those shorts? You know what I mean? Like why not be that person? Or why not be the person like doing that content and stuff like that, doing those reaction videos, playing those type of games. So it's like I don't know, bro. Like, I just gotta get myself really into that mindset where like I understand, bro. Like no matter if I'm not doing nothing, then why not do something? You feel what I'm saying? Like that's really my mindset. I didn't realize it was all Cast Gang. You know what I mean? Scream for the rooftops with that. You feel what I'm saying? Scream from the rooftops. But yeah, we got like a few more reaction videos. We got like 3 music reaction videos, 2 more video reaction videos. But yes, sir. Shout out to Tommy G. Everything you do, man. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know. Everything you do, Tommy G. Shout out to you, bro. Hey man, thank you for watching the video. If you like this video, man, like, comment, subscribe, and share a friend, share their girlfriend. Let's grow the community up. I'm gonna put all my social down in the description down below. Sorry for my words, man. I appreciate y'all for watching the video. And let's check y'all out soon. Peace.
I put the new 4Gs on the G. I tap until the letter bottoms underneath. That's how my homies got it out the street. I keep 100 rats inside my jeans. I remember hitting the mall with my hometown.